Okay, Mr. Harrison. Who's got a few more questions I want to ask you? In the light of some evidence that came in, just got a few more questions to ask you. And see what your response is to this. But go ahead.
One of the things that you said, and I want to make sure that we get this correctly. You said that your parents, was it, had some firearms?
Yeah.
Okay, and you took charge of those firearms. And you have those firearms where?
In my house.
In your house is where?
Okay. You right here?
Okay. Whereabouts in the house would those firearms be?
In my bedroom, in the closet.
Okay? And do you have FID or firearms license? A valid FID?
What? Describe the firearms you have here. She had a white. And she don't have the clip. They lost the clip. And it's a shotgun, but it's the single. Yeah, it's a single. Okay. Again, there have been statements made, and we've got some video that just come to light that shows a person. So you're sure you never met with Lewis Nelson? Very positive. So why would the video of a person of your stature, your build, seen on 19th Street with Lewis, and also on Mass Ave? That's not by the Sunoco. That's not me. That's it. They say, or that's what he said? Video. The video. We're talking about evidence. This is evidence. This is video. Was it there? He said he met with you. He said he met with me. With me.
Ask this move as the next exhibit. The objection. My earlier stated objection. The noted earlier was to be marked. This was. I also have a transcript, Your Honor, and asked this to be marked. I have a transcript as well, and I'd ask to be marked. Identification to look at it. Before that interview, was Mr. Harrison under arrest?
No, he wasn't.
At some point after that interview, was there a decision made about whether to arrest Mr. Harrison? At some point that evening, was Mr. Harrison placed under arrest?
Yes.
You participate in the booking process?
Yes, I did.
What did you do specifically?
I escorted Mr. Harrison downstairs to the booking area. I then took a few items from Mr. Harrison, seized them, which I believe to be a coat, black coat, a pair of gloves, a Charlie card, and the cell phone of Mr. Harrison.
This is the Boston Police arrest booking form, which depicts a picture of the person who was arrested, the charges they are arrested for, and their biographical information.
And that's these 2 pages be marked as the next exhibit. The objection. Objection. You're looking at
Mr. Harrison provide a height and weight in the booking process?
Yes.
Do you remember what his height and weight he provided?
It was noted on the booking sheet.
Do you remember exhaustive as to what the height and weight was?
Yes.
Hi, your own experience in Mr. Harrison, what
No.
Mr. Harrison had to wait for?
You'll have to use that document.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yes. You want us to look at that document?
Yes.
What was Mr. Harrison's height and weight at the time of the booking?
5'7", 169 pounds, approximately.
Please come in, Roy Chairman. So I'm going to show you an item. Do you recognize that item?
Yes.
What is that item?
This was the winter hat that was taken from Mr. Harrison during booking.
Sorry?
Hat
Why was that hat taken?
at booking.
Yes, this remark is the next exhibit.
Can you please mark it?
Show you an item. Recognize that item.
Yes.
What is that item?
It's a Metro PCS cell phone that was Mr. Harrison's personal cell phone, which was taken at booking.
You took it off.
Yes.
And that's the remark is the next exhibit.
What objection? Always marked.
It's remarked. I'm just sorry. And there you recognize that.
Yes.
What is that item?
This was the case which the cell phone was inside of. Black case and the protective casing.
That's the remark is the next exhibit.
No objection. Always marked.
Yes, for software.
Milo, did you take some keys off Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Do you recognize those out there?
Yes.
What are those?
Those are personal keys from Mr. Harrison's person.
Yes, the remark is the next exhibit. Come in, bro. I'm gonna start with the box. Recognize those items?
Yes.
What are those items?
This is the jacket Mr. Harrison was wearing that was seized at booking. The black jacket. And this were the gloves that was also Mr. Harrison's on the day of the seized.
You recognize those objects that were just taken out of
Yes. Wilson, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Ward.
Yes, those continue. I'm sorry, Mark's the next witness.
No objections, please vote.
Is that who you want to do? What? You want the gloves or the... 36 you want the gloves, so not the gloves, 36.
Those are the gloves you took off, Mr. Harrison.
Yes, I do. That was Mr. Harrison's fault. Yes, it was.
Yes, everyone is there. There's also a Charlie card taken off the defendant.
Yes.
Is that submitted evidence as well?
Yes, it was.
As a result of the defendant's arrest, did you apply for and receive a search warrant for the defendant's apartment?
Yes.
Participate in the search of the apartment?
Yes, I did.
And where was that search warrant?
8 Pompey Street, apartment number 2.
During the course of that execution of the search warrant, the members of the Boston Police Department learned Mr. Harrison had a storage container.
Yes. Yes.
Did you apply for another search warrant?
Yes.
Where did you apply for the second search warrant?
For the said location, 18 Pompey Street, the storage unit, which is assigned to the tenant.
Strike the last comment, assigned to the tenant.
You applied for and received a third search warrant, sir.
Yes.
What was the third search warrant for?
Yeah, the office of Mr. Shaun Harrison, school office.
At the English high school.
Yes.
Let me approach. So I'm going to show you a series of documents.
Yes.
What are those two documents?
These are the returns of each search warrant which was executed.
What is a return?
A return is a summary of all evidence that was seized during the execution of the search warrant relative to the investigation.
Can I about those three?
Yes.
And did you send your signature to the bottom of each page?
Yes, it's required.
So at the end of the search warrant for 18 Pompey apartment number 2, did the return here?
Yes.
The storage unit was, the return was here.
Yes.
The apartment, the office, the English high school is here.
That's correct.
That's these three big marks.
Objections.
Mark what?
Marked as exhibits. Overruled. The gist of returns,
Yes.
any signed by him?
Yes.
Yes.
It's 37.
Yes.
Black.
37, black photo. 38, return to search warrant. 39, return to search warrant. And 40, return to search warrant. 38, 39, 40 lots.
May I publish these to the,
Yes.
Starting with the previously marked as number 40, is that the return for the items that were taken from the apartment number 2, the 18 pump history?
Yes.
It was previously marked as number 39. Is that a copy of the search warrant return for the storage container in the basement?
Yes, sir.
Finally, I may just approach the reporter now.
Sorry, it's a information mistake on document.
Finally, lastly, is that the return for the information that was taken out of the defendant's office in Peterson?
Yes, sir, it was.
And at some point, did you participate in a search of the area around 100 magazines?
Yes.
Can you describe what you did? Or other members of Boston Advisory Board?
Myself, I, along with Detective Mason at the time, we met with him. I, along with Detective Mason at the time, met with a Boston Water and Sewer person, and we checked the manholes in the area of Magazine Street and the surrounding areas.
Did you participate in any search of any dumpsters along the way?
Yes.
How many dumpsters do you think you looked at?
Approximately, I remember one specifically on Mass Ave, one dumpster, I personally.
And the water and sewer helped you in your search of the sewer?
Yes, the sewers.
What did they specifically do? Can you describe what happened?
They would utilize a special truck to remove the manhole cover, and they would also use a device to go down into the manhole and scoop out contents from the manhole and lay it on the sidewalk so we could sift through it.
And this was also the storm drains as well?
Yes, storm drains.
What were you looking for when you were doing this?
Casings, bullet, spent casings, anything that's related to the crime being investigated.
Were you looking also for a firearm?
Yes.
Find any firearms during the searches?
No.
How many sewers do you think you looked at? Personally?
Approximately 4 or 5.
Were you also looking for a cell phone as well?
Yes.
You find a cell phone?
No.
You never found a firearm?
No.
And we call it down to 8. Nothing further this time, enough.
Detective.
Morning, Mr. Garrett.
want to start asking some questions about the things you seized from Mr. Harrison the day he interviewed, and that was March 3rd, correct?
March 4th, I believe.
4th, excuse me. It was March 4th, right?
Yes, sir.
Sometime in the afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you said one of the things you seized was his coat, correct?
That's correct.
And when you seized his coat, did you have any information that his coat had anything to do with the crime that you were investigating that took place on March 3rd?
Well, that could
Did
be,
you have any information that told you that the coat that you seized had any connection with the crime you were investigating that alleged to occur on March 3rd?
that,
You have to answer that yes or no.
yes,
What information did you have that that coat was somehow connected to the incident you were investigating?
we didn't understand what specific articles of clothing he was wearing during the crime. So in order to ensure some integrity in the investigation and to eliminate any falsities, the article of clothing he had on at the time, I seized it at booking.
So you had no information that coat was connected to the crime you investigated, did you?
Excuse me, Mr. Count. Cut him off.
So
So the articles of clothing that were seized from Mr. Harrison were to be forwarded for testing. During crimes, microscopic evidence, small traces, not visible by the human eye, could be on a person's clothing. So to ensure the integrity of the investigation, that coat was seized and forwarded for testing.
So you had no information that connected that coat to the crime that you were investigating when you seized the coat, correct?
It's part of general practice.
No, I'm not asking what your general practice is. I'm asking you, did you have any information that connected that coat to the crime that you were investigating at the time you seized the coat?
No.
When you seize a piece, something like the coat, that you, in your general practice, seize, it's important to document that you seized it, correct?
Yes.
Did you document the seizure of the coat?
Not in a formal way, but as an
You didn't put
evidentiary,
it in writing, did you?
as part of the evidence,
You
yes.
didn't put it in writing, did you?
Yes, Your Honor. So I'll be allowed to answer the question.
It's a yes or no question, Your Honor.
I do that. It's yes or
No,
You didn't put it in writing.
no.
One of the reasons it's important to put things into writing is because, God forbid, if something happens to you, for instance, and somebody needs to follow up on the investigation, that they know where all this information comes from, correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you're taught that at the police academy, right?
Yes,
That's before you're even sworn in as a police officer, they train you how to write police reports, correct?
that's correct.
And what they tell you to do is to write down everything that's important because you need to memorialize these things because it all has to be documented, right?
That's correct.
Now, you say this coat was seized because you thought that maybe it might have some connection, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was sent to the crime lab for evaluation?
Yes, sir.
When was it sent to the crime lab for evaluation?
The coat was seized that day, and it was forwarded that night to the crime lab as part of the documents.
Performed on that coat.
Again, for forensic evidence,
Well, did you ask the Boston Police Crime Lab to conduct forensic testing on the coat?
yes, the items when they were submitted,
What forensic testing did you request the Boston Police Crime Lab do on that coat?
for a blood fiber testing,
Sorry?
blood or fiber testing.
Blood or fiber testing?
Yes,
Did
and
you ever get any results from the Boston Police Department, the crime lab, indicating they performed any tests on that coat regarding blood or fiber?
I would have to sift through the plethora of information that was,
So right now, you can't think of any report that was generated by the Boston Police Crime Lab that indicates they conducted any blood or fiber testing on that coat. Is that fair to say?
it's not fair to say.
It's not.
There's
Well, then point to me.
so much information and so much evidence that was submitted. I would have to look and see if there were what the results of that evidence that was submitted.
Well,
It's all
Judge,
documented.
I'd like you to have some time in order to do that.
Continue with the question.
Did you ask if they performed any DNA tests on this coat?
No idea.
When you seized this coat from Mr. Harrison, did you yourself look at it to see if you could find any fiber or blood evidence on it?
No.
You didn't look at it?
No.
Well, you knew that you were investigating the shooting of a person, correct?
Yes.
And you know that gunshots generally result in blood, correct?
That's correct.
And you had information at the time you seized this coat that this
For on a dark garment would be futile. You wouldn't be able to see that.
well, it might give you a clue as to whether or not there was in fact any blood evidence on the sleeve, correct?
The color of the garment would not show easily blood stains or microscopic blood droppings.
You say you seized, found that marked in Exhibit 36 for Mr. Harrison, correct?
That's correct.
Where were he? It's a pair of gloves, right?
Yes.
That became the evidence was iron. Should it be preserved? Should it be used?
In fact, I'm going to show you that the mark and then in this case used as gloves, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Exhibit 36 for the record. You took these for Mr. Harrison's coat, so that same black coat, correct?
That's correct.
And did you submit these to the crime lab for testing?
All evidence was submitted. I don't know if they particularly marked those to be tested.
It indicated that you specifically asked for coat to test, correct?
That's correct.
Did you specifically requested that the gloves be tested?
In summer, I believe all items were requested testing on all items.
You remember when you requested that the gloves be tested?
During submission. During submission, you fill out an evidentiary submission form, and on the form, it states testing, and you put yes or no.
And you filled out the form for the gloves?
Yes, that's correct.
You did that?
You have to submit.
Filled out the form for the coat?
Each article of evidence that you submit into the evidence database, you're required to submit the evidence submission form.
The question I asked you to submit the request for the gloves at the same time you submitted the request for the coat.
Yes, because I would surmise yes, because they were submitted at the same time.
And did you seize these gloves from Mr. Harrison? You were looking for potentially any evidence that you might observe, correct? Again, fiber of the blood.
Correct.
And did you Did you take a look at these gloves to see if it contained any blood or fiber that you didn't detect?
No.
Because it would have been futile.
Exactly.
I'll show you the palms of these gloves. Correct?
That's correct.
The light colored gray, correct?
Yes, yes, correct.
Blood, red blood would show up on that light colored gray.
Yes.
You never look at the glove to see if it has blood on it?
Well, submitting the evidence, you look at it, but it's not apparent. It wasn't examined, laborly examined. You just submit the evidence.
They show you the back of the glove, right? Correct?
That's correct.
If you examine the back of the glove, the back of the glove, you see if there was anything that suggested the presence of fibers or blood.
No, I didn't thoroughly examine the gloves.
You didn't examine the glove or the coat.
No.
And when you seized the gloves, did you have any information that these gloves were somehow connected to the investigation you were conducting regarding the shooting of bullets or
Again, like I stated earlier, it's part of a general practice.
So the answer is no, you didn't have any specific information about the gloves being connected to the shooting of Louis Rodriguez?
No.
You said you didn't record anywhere that you had seized a coat from Mr. Harrison, correct?
That's correct.
Did you record anywhere in writing a police report that you shared with fellow detectives or other police officers that indicate that you seized those gloves from Mr. Harrison?
Yes, it's documented in the evidence database, which is time-stamped.
Did you?
I thought that would
Did you
suffice.
write any report indicating that you seized those gloves for Mr. Harrison?
No, not at the time I didn't. I was also tasked with offering the search warrant. I was the applicant in the search warrant, so that may have actually slipped, not documenting that, but part of the process when the evidence is is documented into the database, I thought that would have sufficed the requisite.
So because of the
Limitation.
time constraints that were put on you, you didn't write up a report documenting the seizure yourself?
I wouldn't put it in that way. It was a time constraint. I had a myriad of tasks that I was performing. That may have just been something that was probably, typically I would do that, but it slipped my mind. Honest mistake.
Now, you had this interview with Mr. Harrison along with Detective Diaz, right?
That's correct.
Detective Diaz was present when you seized the coat and the gloves?
I don't recall. There was a booking officer, there was probably one or two other officers, but I know I was present.
Well, since you were pressed for time, did you ask Detective Diaz to do any of that work for you?
I never said I was pressed for time. I said I had a myriad of tasks that I was undertaking.
I'm sorry to make
So,
an assumption that you had another task that you didn't have the time to fill out the paperwork. Did you ask anybody else, any other detectives or anybody else in the Boston Police Department to write up either a 1-1 or Form 26 documenting the fact that you received these, that you obtained these items of potential evidence?
No, sir, I did not.
When someone's booked, there are places fill out that indicate what the person is wearing or what the person's has.
That's correct.
And you said you were present for the booking, correct?
Yes, I was, sir.
And you remember what color the described that Mr. Harrison had at booking?
No, I'd have to use the booking information.
Show you that document. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, this is the Boston Police arrest booking form.
We direct the attention to clothing description, correct?
Yes.
It's a blue white striped shirt, correct?
That's correct.
Gray suit, correct?
Yes, sir.
Black shoes, correct?
That's correct.
Does it say anything about a black coat or glove, does it?
No, sir.
Or a hat, does it?
No, sir.
There's actually a second Boston piece of the Boston booking, correct?
Yes.
And that lists prisoner property, correct?
Yes.
And in the prisoner property that's listed on page 2, there's no mention of hat, is there?
No.
There's no mention of gloves, is there?
No.
There's no mention of a coat, is there?
No.
There's no mention of keys, is there? There's no mention of glass holding, correct? There's cell phone holding, correct?
That's correct.
And there's no mention of a cell phone.
No.
As a detective in the Boston Police Department, if you're assigned to a case and you want to know what a potential suspect or potential perpetrator was wearing at the time of booking or had on at the time of booking, the first place you look would be the Boston Police Department booking form, correct?
That's, yes. Not specifically, but
Because
yes.
because that's the primary source for determining what somebody did or did not have on him at the time of his arrest, correct?
Yes, generally.
And that's something that's kept in the normal, we've already been through the coat and the gloves. You said you also took from Mr. Harrison some keys, correct?
Yes, correct.
A cell phone case, correct?
That's correct.
His cell phone, correct?
That's correct.
And a hat, correct?
Yes.
At the time you seized those items, did you have any information that indicated that they had any connection to the shooting that you were investigating and haven't even before?
Again, as part of the general investigation, I realized there were going to be search warrants to be written on the residence of Mr. Harrison. That's one of the reasons the keys were taken. Cell phone. Search warrants were to be written. That's one of the reasons why the cell phone was also taken from Mr. Harrison. And it's part of the general practice. As I stated before, you take articles of clothing to send them for testing to determine whether or not there are microscopic or any type of evidence that could link the person being charged with the crime that had occurred.
So the short answer to that question I asked you is no.
Depends on how a person views that.
Well, the question I asked you is what information did any of you have? Any of those items that you see that I just read the list of, did you have it indicated they are connected in any way to the shooting of the investigator?
Yes, some of them were connected. As I stated before, as a part of an ongoing investigation, you have to gather all evidence that may link or show some correlation to the crime that is being investigated. The cell phone was seized due to the fact that cell phones carry a plethora of information. People use it for texting, they use it for photographs, they use it to even be braggadocious about crimes they have committed. They use it to show conspiracy, that they spoke with another person in order to carry out an act. From my experience, I'm speaking, as I've investigated the crime.
So you had no piece of information about any of those items indicating they are connected to the crime that you're investigating at the time you see them, correct?
Again, yes,
And when you seize those, when you say you seize those items, if you can ask Mr. Harrison if he's consent for you to take those things.
Objection. It's a state.
You're perfectly not.
Hey,
In fact, I'm not going to share with the mark, because it says 38, 39, and 40 in this case, correct?
yes,
And those are what you indicated with the search warrant, in terms of the three search warrants that you received in this case, correct?
yes,
And the reason that you fill out the search warrant returns is so you can document for yourself and for anybody else who might be involved in the investigation, and for the court, the district attorney's office, and defense counsel, exactly what was taken and when it was taken, correct?
that's correct.
Part of the process that you go through when you seize things that you believe may or may not be connected to a crime, correct?
Part of the court ordered seizure, yes,
And it's really important to document the seizure of potential evidence, correct?
that's correct.
We'll ask you to take a look at Exhibit 40 first. That's the search warrant return for the government of 218 Pompey Street.
That's correct.
And you executed that search warrant at roughly 11:30, 11:40 p.m. on the 5th of March,
Yes.
2015.
That's correct.
It's some more than 24, almost 35 hours later. Mr. Harrison, correct?
That's correct.
When you turn the attention to Exhibit 39, that's the search warrant for the material that's found in the basement, correct?
In storage unit, yes, correct.
And 38 is for what's recovered at the Mr. Harrison's office in the high school, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And one of those was executed on the 6th, and the other in the office on the 7th of March, correct?
That's correct.
Did you collect any of this evidence, or you just documented it?
I was present during the,
It's another police officer who wanted to actually took possession.
yes, during the execution of the search warrant, each individual is given, each officer, or detective is given specific duties, and one person may be tasked with doing a rough sketch of the place that's being searched. Another person probably may be tasked with the photographing of the evidence, and another person may be tasked with the documentation of the evidence that is being collected.
You personally didn't recover particular items or not, correct?
I was present during the collection of the product, yes.
But you didn't actually physically pick up any of these items. Back when you did what happened.
I'm sure I did, yes. I'm sure, yeah.
One of your reputation out of Exhibit 48, the return of the search of Harrison's office.
Yes,
Fair to say that the execution of the search warrant that on 7:30 p.m.
2229, that's 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah,
We went there with a particular purpose to look for potential items that might connect Mr. Harris to the crime, correct?
that's correct.
We would also be alert to taking note of and documenting, maybe even seizing items that might be considered contraband or illegal, correct?
That's correct.
And when you went into Mr. Harris's office about 10:30 on the 7th, correct?
That's correct.
And did you recover any knives from the office?
No,
It would be documented in the return, correct?
most likely yes.
And there isn't any knife listed in the return.
No,
So did you recover any marijuana from there?
I don't recall that at all, no. If it's not there,
Not documented.
yes, right.
Did you recover any cologne?
No,
There is no cologne.
no, sir.
You didn't find anything that was illegal, did you?
No, sir.
You didn't find any guns in there, did you?
That was not the scope of the search. The search was to garnish anything that be related to the crime.
Have you seen the gun? You wouldn't have documented it?
Oh yeah, I would have documented and seized it, oh, definitely.
But you didn't see a gun?
No, sir, no,
Or
sir.
ammunition?
No, sir.
Were you one of the detectives who went to English High School and picked up Mr. Harrison on the 4th?
No, sir.
Do you know who transported Detective Harrison from the high school to where you interviewed him?
I think he was accompanied, that's my recollection. I think he was accompanied by some school police officers that were assigned to the school police unit.
They haven't-
The best of my recollection, I believe that.
Would it likely have been Detective Driscoll and Detective Heisler?
Possibly, could be. Sure, it's not.
When you sent the code and the logs to the Boston Crime Lab for forensic investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that include blood? If you're looking for blood, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you're looking for fire, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you're looking for DNA evidence, correct?
That's true.
The gunshot residue?
No, that's a separate entity. That's usually done by the state police.
And at some point, did you have these items sent to the state police and they be checked the gunshot residue?
No, my supervisor would be the one who would authorize that.
You know that was done or not in the state?
I don't have any idea if that was done.
In response to Mr. Barber's question, you said that you and other members of the Boston Police Department, and I think you said Detective Stanton and some members of the Boston Water and Sewer Department went back to the area of 100 Magazine Street, correct?
That would be Detective Mason.
I'm sorry.
Mason.
I'm sorry?
Detective Ryan Mason.
Can you spell that for me?
Detective, the last name is Mason, spelled M-A-S-O-N, and the first name is Ryan.
And you went there to see if you could uncover, observe anything that you thought might be related to the shooting of Will Rodriguez, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you did that on the 10th of March, is that right?
That's correct.
So that was a full week after the incident, correct?
Yes, sir.
You know the other members of the Boston Police Department who had been in the area between March 3rd and March 10th?
Yes, I believe, other detectives who were also assisting in the investigation had also canvassed the area for video and also ballistics evidence.
This is the time to go on break.
Yes, sir.
See you in 20 minutes, please.
All rise.